And welcome back to the hottest marriage show in our living room. It is I, John D. and Kanika, a.k.a.
Do.
And Too Much Podcast. How are you doing this wonderful afternoon or morning? One of them two.
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm hot.
What you hot from?
The heat.
The heat. You want to turn on the fan?
Yeah.
Let's turn on the fan.
Okay. We can go back.
So how's your morning going?
It's going great.
What's so great about it other than being hot?
Yeah. Yard work just makes me happy. And you just got, these are some pretty sunflower. Are those sunflowers?
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
I'm glad you I was like, I could have got some tulips, but I like those because they're full and vibrant. The color's vibrant.
They are. They're very pretty. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. So today, I was wondering, we've been in our humble abode for a year, but I was thinking about the kids, and I was thinking, like, what about them do you not wish, but you felt like you could have been a different person if you would have had one of their characteristics? What do you like admire that could have helped you in your younger age, that could have helped you develop into more of a polished adult?
Day, if I could have gotten her ability to not care about other people's feelings, not in a mean way, but other people's opinions of her. Day does whatever she wants to do when she wants to do it, and it's perfectly fine with her, and she's like confident in it. If I would have done, there was so much of my upbringing, and even into my adulthood, where I really worried about being judged. What did it look like? What will people think? I did a lot of that. So I would love to get that from Day. From Dallas, Dallas enjoys learning. I do well in learning. If you tell me that I need to learn something, that's perfectly fine. I can do it. But Dallas, he has certain things that he loves to focus in on and grow in and learn just out of joy and the enjoyment of it. And I just don't have that. You have to give me the motivation of what I'm doing, except maybe gardening right now. But other than that.
So when you mentioned gardening, like, what is that feeling? How can you describe that to me that makes me to understand how you feel when you do it?
Oh, I don't think it's the actual doing it. I think it's the imagination of what it's going to look like in the end. So I'm willing to rack my brain to figure out how to make it look like that. I've already said I kill every type of plant, but I figure if I can see in my head what I want and I've seen inspiration, I can do the things to prepare for it. I may not be able to care for the plants, but I can get it started. And so
you don't think that the end part plays a significant role on their life?
Yeah, but you're there, so you can do that part. I don't have to do that part, but just setting it up how I see it, I'm excited to see it done and all the things people do. I love the creativity. And so I can learn how to set a retaining wall. I could learn how to do stuff like that. I could learn how to transplant plants from one place to another, or what I can get that. I can see what I want. It's just, maintaining the life of it, I can't really do. But, it's exciting to me because I really want the house to be somewhere where we would never want to go anywhere else. How you go I used to leave the house all the time to go to the river, just because there was so much green and it was open space and I can get, a nice breeze and stuff. And I would rather the entire house to be somewhere wherever I want to escape to, I can. When I want to listen to music, I could sit in the living room, play the record player. I could play, anything on the TV. If I want to sit and read quietly, the library will be done, stuff like that. So, I want it to be where I don't mind leaving the house, but I want it to be where I wouldn't need to go anywhere. When we're done with the backyard, I
can't wait for that.
Oh, for real. So I think that it's, gardening is not necessarily the excitement. It's the end result that's exciting for me. So I'm willing to do what I have to do to get there.
So when you're actually in it, just trying to figure out where I am. So you don't mind doing it at all?
I don't mind doing any of this stuff right now. But once it's established, I wouldn't want to like, oh, look at this. Let's change this out now.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You don't think the more you do this, the better you're going to become and be like, oh, now I know how to do this in half the amount of time and we can really do this. You don't think you'll get to that?
I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah. So when you were talking about your daughter, how she doesn't care, I thought about that too. But you don't think that plays a role in her patience to gain new friends? Like you had friends and like she doesn't understand that sometimes you're just learning people out before you cut them off.
Yeah, they'll cut people like a knife. Like, well, no, I think that when Day decides that she doesn't want to be friends with someone, it's a legit reason. Like, she's maintained friends this year that she's talked about,
but her friends look different from your friends in high school.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just saying this, even as far as the interaction after school.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think you would have been able to balance that, or you would have been like not having anybody? Because I think that's the pro and con of that ability she has.
That's very true. I don't know. What about you?
I really did think about that one. I like that one, but I was just too outgoing to be able to, and I'm just too forgiving. I don't really believe people were doing crazy things to bother me on purpose. And if they did, I feel like I could always overdo them. But this is one thing that I can really say. I couldn't be by myself before. She has the ability to just disappear and be happy. When I disappeared, it was because I wanted to get away from, but she enjoys, and I couldn't stay away too long. Mm-hmm. So I like the idea that, she does check in.
Yeah, she'll come out of the room every few hours, give you a hug and a kiss, and then disappear.
Like, ask us how we're doing. Like, she's really concerned, but to make sure it's like, I'm okay up here.
Yeah, and then we do a little bit of conversation, and then when you pause in the conversation, all of a sudden she's moving to the stairs.
She's disappearing. Dallas. So when you said you like the way that he learns and attach, if you had that ability, then what would you have focused it on?
I might have focused it on music.
So when you say music, like in what capacity?
Song and piano. Actually, at his age, I was trying to play the violin as well. But I think I would have focused on those types of things. Like, I really loved music then. But I just didn't have if it wasn't something that naturally came to me in an opportunity, then.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering what you think your mind would have been when you said song and
instrument, piano.
So, meaning you would have sung more, you would have played more.
I would have developed my voice more. I definitely would have learned how to play. I wouldn't have given up on instrumentation the way that I did. But also, it's funny because in high school, I had decided in like the 11th or 12th grade that I wanted to be an obstetrician, gynecologist, work with women, deliver babies, all that good stuff. And I remember for one Christmas, my mom, when she asked me what I wanted, I only wanted books on breast health and women's bodies. And that's what she gave me. She gave me, she probably gave me some other things, but I studied those books all of 3 weeks, and then I moved on. But if I had Dallas's, drive, I probably would have continued and figured out those things I wanted to do and find the joy in it and excel. But you know, if things don't come easily to me, especially when I was younger, I'd be like, you know, never mind.
So with Dallas, I do like that he's really interested in the things that he's interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was like that, but I think that he goes over and beyond just the person who's actually interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
A person who's interested in it does more than the average person, but he does more than the person that's interested in it.
And I think the other thing is he shares it. Like, he tries to reteach us all the time.
Absolutely.
Whatever even if we're not interested, we become interested because he's like, this is what I've learned, and I've kind of connected this to this and this and this that I already know, and look at what I've discovered, or look what conclusion I have. And I think that's great.
It is. So taking what I said, what about them do you feel like you could give them from your childhood that could have made them, like, if you could give it to them right now, where they would be even better than they are?
I think I would have given Day my assertiveness. And it's weird because we're saying, you know, she just cuts people off. Day cuts people off because she has a certain set of boundaries she feels are common to everybody. And if you don't give her that basic respect, she's not going to say, I don't like that, so you're going to have to fix this. She'll just be like, oh, you're done.
Yeah.
But with me, it's like, I'm like, all right, we ain't doing that. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have a problem with saying it to an extent where people feel like I'm very friendly, but it could be a threat. Like, don't play with me, especially when I was her age. With Dallas, it would be the same thing. Being able to, like, you know, that immediate, you know, when you have that immediate reaction where you're like, what are you doing? As soon as somebody, you know, steps out of line, they don't do that. They just kind of back off, and then they observe what's happening. They be like, I don't want that. And then they disappear. But I feel like they would be able to engage with far more people if they could set a fast boundary when they see somebody step out of line, and do it in a way where you don't feel bad, like you're upsetting anyone. But you feel confident that I can correct you real quick, and you're still my friend. It's okay. I just don't. That's the one thing that I wish I could pass on to them. Maybe they feel like I'm a bit more aggressive, and I am now. I'm more aggressive in my words because they're my children.
Yeah.
But when it was me at their age, I wish I could hand that over. What about you?
I guess I wish they were. I think what you want to give them is what they'll get after being just outgoing, like not giving care about whoever you speak to. Like, through practice of meeting people, you'll learn that everybody has different boundaries. But I still don't think you understand that everybody's boundaries are different.
I do understand, but I feel...
I'm talking about when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Like, I interacted with a bunch of people, but with yours, I set boundaries, but I still let people go really far because it didn't hurt me as much as other people. Like, man, what are you doing? And I'm like, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Like, I'm like, you shouldn't let them do that. I'm like, it don't bother me. So my tolerance was a lot more than...
Yeah, it was.
You know, than some people. So being that my tolerance is more, meant that I was crossing a lot more boundaries than people was really open to. So I just wanted them to interact, not be afraid. But you know what's so crazy? The things that I want them to have, I don't have now. Like the person that I used to be, I don't have that to go out and want to speak to people. It's not that I'm worried about what they're going to say. It's about how long am I going to have to talk? And like, sometimes I do want to talk, but a lot of times I think I avoid it because my tone sounds friendly and people feel like they can just open up. And I don't have a problem with that most of the time. But that's only because I initiate it. But if I don't initiate it, I'm trying to like keep it moving. Like even when I walk the dogs now, I won't even look to see who's in front of me to see if I know them. If I see somebody like at a good distance, I'll act like, well, we've gone far enough, so let me turn around.
Oh, looking at the person?
Without even looking at them, because I feel like I don't really want to engage because I don't know what the conversation, like I just don't have the time. Not that I don't have the time. I don't want to give the time. You know, I feel like my job is to get these dogs to use the restroom, let them get some cardio in, some sniffs, and then we come back so I can get back to my regular scheduled program. And that's crazy. But I want them to be the person that I used to be. I don't want them to be. And I think that's what they are. They're modeling
what they see now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
So, being that we've been here a year in our home, you mentioned it earlier. You said that, you know, you used to go to the river for all of these reasons. But the only reason that I recall you going for, outside of those wonderful reasons you named, was to really escape me.
It was. No, but I used to go there when you weren't here too.
To escape me and the kids. So you needed time to yourself. And I noticed that I know it's a lot further away. But you what have you replaced your me time with? Like as far as, you know, like your alone time where you can just have some solitude without being interrupted. Because I don't know if you're that comfortable with doing it in the house now, or you don't feel like you used to feel, where you feel like that was necessary.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You know, there are other things. Like when I went to the river, I used to read. I used to do notes and study and stuff and things I wanted to learn and journal, all that good stuff. And I haven't done that. Like I put all those things away when we moved and I have not taken them out. And so that's one part of me that I think I don't give myself any time for. I don't really give myself time for me. All my time, like the moments that I do get on my own, I just scroll through my phone. But that is something that I do want to get back to because it really felt good to me. And it made me feel like, you know, sometimes you just feel like you're, like I feel like a 3-dimensional person. Like there's the wife, and then there's the nurse, and then there's the mother, and not much else is me. And when I used to step away, that was the time for me to be myself. And I didn't have any other titles or any other roles or responsibilities. It was just, and you know, I haven't really taken that time for myself in over a year. I hadn't realized that.
Is that something?
In 2 years.
Is that something that like you feel like you need still? And when I say need still, I mean like, I know before it seemed like you would leave and not even say anything, and then your kids would say, "Yeah, she went to the river," you know. But now, even now, like I think our communication is so much different. Like we announce when we're leaving. Well, you know, at least I do. Sometimes you kind of disappear, but for the most part, you let me know you're going somewhere. But how do you feel like overall, like after a year being in your home?
Yeah, I think being here and all the things that I've been planning one way or another on this room or that room, I think it distracted me. But once I get on a good roll and that becomes less of my focus, I think I can get back to myself. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything though. I know that was a good part of me though, and I do want to get back to it. I just I'm enjoying a different part of myself right now, so it's cool.
So, from what I gathered, you would like Dallas's focus on certain things. You want to probably get back to your solitude at the water so you can experience the nature and probably do some things you want to study. What would you like to study?
At the time I was studying.
No, like now. Like what's your interest? Because I mean, at some point, this house is going to slow down as far as the things we're going to need to do. So, what are you preparing for to occupy that noodle?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna go back to what I was studying before. I was
your ancestors.
Yeah, ancestry, religions of the continent, all of that stuff. I want to go back to it, and I was really into it. And then, you know what I told myself? I said, when my office is done and it's going to be set up really nice, then I'll be able to sit down and focus on that again, and it'll be so nice. But then I made that my last focus. You know, there are other things I want to do. I said, I'm going to do the kids' room, then I'm going to do my office, and then everything else will get done after that. And I didn't. So, but I see today today I found a way to get started on my office, and I'm excited about it. So then it's almost like I'm waiting to allow myself to be my full self just when I have this room, and it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's where my head is.
No doubt. So closing this out, I want to know marriage. What do you like about it now? Like, if you could tell your younger self before you got married the benefits of it, not the difficulties of getting to the benefits, would you describe it in a way that they needed to get it, or would you be like, hey, have reservations?
No, if I were to, I would definitely say, I mean, you definitely want to give the warning, have the reservations, because you know you need to be alert and aware. But if I were to say, I would say one of the best things about marriage is just having a really good friend with you to do a lot of stuff. You can laugh at your kids at the same time. You don't have to, like, when you're struggling with a kid, you don't have to do it by yourself. They understand, you know, because I have my best friend from middle school, but when I talk to her about the kids, she doesn't fully understand because she doesn't live with them day to day, and she doesn't have any teenagers, so it's different, you know. But this friend is walking with you the entire time if you are both aligned. Yeah, because there are a lot of times when the partners aren't aligned, but in a marriage in which you do feel like you guys are on the same page, it really feels like so much less stress, so much more balance. Like, I know that I flip-flop all over the place and I lose focus, and you're a finisher. So it helps me. Like, I started laundry on Monday. You had it on the bed, folding it on Friday. Saturday.
I just didn't know. Well, I was gone for most of the week.
Yeah, you were. And so, but you know, I said every day, I was like, oh, I'm gonna finish that. But you did it. Thank you. So, yeah, it's really like, I feel weird about the whole thing of they're the other part of me. They're my other, but it's like, you know, we're at the point where when we move through things, it almost feels like it's so well coordinated without trying. And I appreciate that. That takes so much more stress off of me. I would say that in the beginning, I used to be super stressed about a lot of stuff, hyper all over the place, really worried about the kids on this and that. And you'd be like, you know, I don't know why you worried about that. That's not, but now I feel like we're both equally engaged in everything that's going on. And so when I say I'm stressed, it's not just, you understand. And even though you're like, it's not that deep, you still meet me where I am. It's like, okay, well, let's plan it out. Before, you used to just leave me flailing like,
because
just suck it up.
That's how I dealt with it.
Yeah. But now it's like, okay, well, what do you need to feel better?
But even like, I look at it, it was really a selfish way to look at it, because you still had majority of the things on your plate. And when you said that, it made me think that was the universe. Like, I was like, the universe is going to make it work. Why are you worried about it?
Wait, it was this joke where it was the husband and the wife was stressed out. He was like, why are you so stressed out? She said, look at the house. I have these dishes. I have these laundry to do. He said, I'm going to put you in on a secret. He said, come here. So then he said, if you put a basket of clothes on this table, the next day it's folded. It's like, try it. I promise. He said, if you put your dishes by the sink, the next day they're washed and they're in the, it's like, I promise, it's like magic. And she looked at him like she could murder him. And he was just like, everything just kind of just works. And I didn't want to jinx it, so I didn't say anything to you. And that's how he used to do. You'd be like, don't worry about it. And I'll be stressing. It'd be stuff like, we'll go somewhere. And I'll be like, you're like, we need to go here as a family. In my head, we have to look a certain way. We can't just be going looking like a ragtag bunch, right? And so you're like, just get some clothes in here. It don't matter. And then I'm stressed. So now I got to do Day's hair, but I want the kids to look nice. I'm going to go get the kids some clothes. So then I get my clothes, and then I look for your clothes. Okay, so this is what you're going to. And then it's like, we look great, and we're all put together. You're like, look, it's that easy. Look, you just. And I was like, dude, I pulled out half of my hair trying to get this looking like this. But, yeah, it changed with time. It definitely did. But in those younger years, I was off the chain. And you were so on, like, you were on that chain. You didn't even care. You were like, it's all right, it's all right.
I didn't know. I didn't know what really came with all of that.
No, I know. But I'll say, and that's why I can say, that's why I have the ability now to be able to say, I understand what I should have had.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why we had to grow up together and develop into this. But now I can say I get it when people used to say and stuff like, that's my other half. Or like, I was talking to my friend yesterday, she said she and her husband finish these other sentences, and she just, they're such good friends. And I understand that when people say that. And now I feel more aligned with that. Like, I understand. Yeah. Sorry, that was a long.
No, that was appreciated, because I've learned. Anybody you want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
No.
Well, I want to give a shout out to my line brother Ruben and his fiance Ifat.
Oh, yes.
He proposed and they're gonna get married, and he seems really excited. His language sounds different, and I'm excited for him. Also, he's the bossless of TK Square, Tau Kappa Kappa graduate chapter in the Detroit area. They're having their annual boat ride. Well, they had it last night, and it looked like it was a good time. And shout out to him and her and the Qs for having a wonderful weekend.
Definitely.
Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA. Get after that action, or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose. Boom.